Hi. What we're going to see today is what I like to call a class clip. It's just a couple little moments from one of our classes at SkillsHub.life. This particular class is about going from 5 to 6 figures, and whether you're going from 3 figures to 4 figures or 4 figures to 5 figures or nothing to starting, I think you'll find the little bits of information here really useful.
I would just choke when a client says, what's your budget? What's your rate? I would go, okay, they asked me for a rate. I got to give it to them. It's like when you go to a store, you just tell me how much it costs. I don't want to guess, what my budget is for it. But no, we can be in the power position and say, what is your budget or what is your budget range? Who is the end client? You're often working with an intermediary client, whether it's a production company, an ad agency, producer. They're making a thing for someone else. Like, oh, who's the end client we're doing this for? If I don't already know, how long are they going to be using the recorders? What is the usage? Where are they going to use it? When do they want to use them? Do they want a live directed session? This is all stuff that, information that helps you set a rate. But ideally, they give you a rate. Then you know where you're starting and you can go, okay, this is what they've decided they want to pay. If you don't love that rate, you can come back and say, oh gosh, my rate for that is normally double, but I want to be able to work with you. So now you've told them my rate is double. You've said 500, I'm saying 1,000, but I want to be able to work with you because I know we're all afraid of like scaring away clients and losing jobs. But the way that I deal with that is saying, this is my rate, but I usually can find a way to work with you if that's you. Because, budgets are budgets. Sometimes they literally have a limit. And they're like, oh, we have not been given the money to pay you $1,000 for your voice. Could you work for 500? I don't want to lose $500 an hour. So I want them to pay me 1,000, but I don't want to lose them. So make sure you can word in a little bit of wiggle room saying, let me know what your budget is because I'm actually a little more expensive than what you were thinking. Let's talk about rates more with each other. Transparency helps everyone kind of raise their rates up. Like that's why I'm being so transparent with you. Like this is what I do. You could do this too. And if it becomes the industry standard, then nobody really balks at our high rates. In the US, I don't know about in other countries, it is illegal for an employer to tell your employee that they cannot discuss their salary. Now, in voiceover, we're very rarely an employee, but when we're union, when we're paid with like a W-2, W-4 instead of like a 1099 thing, I want to reach out to my other talent and go, what should we do? What is a good rate for this? Otherwise it's kind of a race to the bottom. I can reach out to my other talent without telling them what the audition is, without telling them who the client is. I have to negotiate a 6-month usage of a national TV commercial that, is going to have these many tags and several 15s and 30s are going to be cut out of a 60. And I want to be able to talk to other people with that. So I encourage you all to get together and talk about rates and how are you doing this so we can raise each other up.
I just want to emphasize again, this has been very successful for me, is if you give them what they want, when they want, you can charge what you want. Focus on quality, service, focus on their details, like be helpful, be proactive, ask them questions, and then ask them for their money. Another thing is research the client before quoting. I have definitely left money on the table, quoting like not very much money for something because I was lazy. And then later I looked up the company, saw they have like 10,000 employees worldwide, multinational. And then there's me giving them like a friend rate, but like, kind of low end rate. So research them, know who you're dealing with. Also, don't make assumptions. Maybe they have money, so you want to ask them questions. Before you give them a number, ask them what their budget is. Catherine will give you some great questions to ask them before you even say any single number to them. Get the information from them first.
Yep. And before we get to that, Diana, I want to give you props that you were sort of the one who mentioned this next thing that we're going to share as little nuggets of wisdom. The amount of headache with a client is inversely proportional to their budget. If you haven't figured that out yet, know that those low budget people, man, they are the hardest to work with, the back and the forth thing. And just like when I work for a client through an agency and I go to a studio, I record from home, I say the words, bada boom, bada bing, done. I don't do any editing. I don't even, have to invoice usually like my agents do that, but don't fight for scraps.